I must say this. Hey, everybody. As some of you know, if you follow my channel, I have a big, I don't know if I want to call it a training, but a workshop, I would say, right here on YouTube discussing communications for healthy relationships. It is so important. It is so vital. And it comes up every time. Most of the time, I'm doing a session with someone, either counseling or coaching, or I am facilitating a group. So today's group was on healthy facilitation. And we talked about what unhealthy relationships look like. And one of the main things that came up, and I'm so glad someone brought it up, and this is with women, is effective communication. And the person was honest about not knowing how to do that, like always pointing a finger or blaming someone else or not understanding someone else's point of view because they were stuck in their own point of view or trauma and all those things. And a lot of us do that without realizing. This is why I always go back to, and it came up as well, one good characteristic to have when you want to have a healthy relationship or maintain is being self-aware of your own perception and your own reactions and why you do what you do, why you say what you say. Where is that coming from? Being able to identify behaviors, I would say, that are not productive in a relationship. They're unhelpful. They won't help to build or develop anything. They have the tendency to destroy and self-sabotage. And so we was talking about getting away from the sabotaging behaviors. And so we also talked about, again, the perception. And a lot of times if we are perceiving someone based on what we've gone through in our own life, if it's only limited to our lens, that can be influenced by our trauma from the past or even childhood trauma or adult trauma, whatever. If we are only looking through things through that lens, that is unhealthy and it is not fair to the people you are building relationship with. You're not, this is why it's important to get counseling, therapy, even mental health coaching like I do, trauma-informed coaching and everything, because it helps you to kind of identify when you do that and where it comes from, where you may have developed that from. And we talked today about even the behaviors. If you've seen people in your family react to or during communication with that type of reactional response, right? Not knowing how to listen and hear and listen to what other people are saying and why they're saying what they're saying. It's not really always about agreeing. It's just understanding. And so when one is a good listener, they seek to understand the other person, not whether what they're saying is valid. And now you're listening for that, but I'm just talking about the fact that you're listening, getting an understanding before you even respond, getting their point of view, and then learning how to validate, like, okay, I hear you, I understand what you're saying. And so you can stay emotionally regulated. So after hearing someone else's perspective, point of view, perspective, whatever, you can come back having done the processing and registering, look at me, I'm losing my words again, registering, registering. Oh my God, this is live too. What they're saying, then when you do that, you can come back with something constructive, maybe a solution, maybe a balanced perspective on things. And if you're doing it from a calm place and a place of understanding, you can help the other person now who becomes the listener when you speak. You will help them to hear. You can train people to treat you a certain way, but you have to train yourself first. So train yourself to be a good listener and a good speaker, a good orator, knowing how to process something and express it from a wise mind. Again, the wise mind is a balance between the emotional mind and the reasonable mind. When you have a balance of both, you're not allowing the emotions to dictate your response or reaction, and you're not operating from an irrational mindset. You are balanced, and you're not just focused on logic. So you have the perfect balance of using your emotions, right? That can be the compassion and the empathy, right? It allows you to be empathetic towards somebody else when they're giving their perspective or sharing their thoughts and their feelings. And you also being reasonable because you're not letting the emotions also, because you as the listener can get lost in someone's emotions as well. You can get lost in your own emotions and drop your own conclusions and make assumptions, or you can get lost in their emotions and then you're not keeping a level head or clear mind. So you got to be able to find a balance, and it's a work all the time. We're never going to be perfect, but I believe in building and developing healthy communication. It's a work you do every day. You make an effort to be a better listener, a better a person who expresses themselves, who can articulate themselves from a wise mind, which is the balance of emotion and reasonable mindset. If you have the balance of knowing how to manage your emotions, you can hear better and you can listen and you can be rational in your own responses, in your own delivery about things. So I just wanted to put that out there. It was a good discussion we had today about it. And I love the fact people was able to recognize when they have been on both ends, when they have been a poor listener and a poor communicator of their thoughts and feelings. And a lot of it, again, it had to do with them being stuck in their emotions, being stuck in some level of trauma from their past or learned behavior from familial relationships, family, and then having to learn new communication skills, some of it for the first time. Some of it is just a forgotten skill, right? And you got to it's a good book called Listening, the Forgotten Skill by, I can't remember the first name, but the last name of the person is Allen. Allen is the author. That's a great book. We use it in school and I just love the book. I kept it. I'm like, this is such a good book. And it was from my communications class. But yeah, I just wanted to put that on there. We're all continuing to learn and to grow. And it's good when you're open. And I heard another person say, I'm so glad that I've learned to be open, because when I'm open, I'm willing to learn and change myself. I'm telling myself that I want to grow at being a healthier communicator, learning, healing, right? Learning how to develop healthy relationships. The only way that is going to work is if you do the work first within yourself and you tell yourself, I need to make some improvements. Because if I've been in relationships and I can see a pattern of dysfunction within myself, I can see a pattern of a negative reaction or responses from myself, and I can think about in retrospect, how did that work? That didn't go well. So I need to do a new approach. I need to approach communication in a better way. Learn healthy communication habits and skills. We have the World Wide Web. We can go ahead on and do our own research, and we can practice, and we can use behavior rehearsal where we are practicing with somebody else. It could be your children. When I say relationships, I'm not talking about just romantic relationships. I'm talking about all kinds of relationships. Right? And so again, just part of your journey in this life of growing and learning and paying it forward. So practice it on somebody you know. You may purposefully say, hey, I want to practice a healthy way of communicating because I have the tendency to overreact or whatever it is you find that you do. Practice doing the opposite. And a lot of times I talk about that in sessions, the opposite of your regular behavior responses. What's the opposite of it? And once you find the opposite way of doing that thing, practice doing the opposite of that and see what the outcome is going to be, right? But again, you want a healthy outcome, not a dysfunctional, unhealthy outcome. We're not doing that, right? We're stopping. So for those of you who feel like you can be honest with yourself, if you have had a problem of having poor communication in your relationships, all different type of relationships, sometimes even in parental relationships, we're not the best communicators with our kids. If we learn from our parents, shut up, don't say nothing, you don't have any feelings, and hold it all in, and then you can grow up doing that same thing, and it makes you, I was going to use the word suck at keeping a healthy relationship. You don't know how to do it. You don't have the skill set. So it's okay to say, I need to learn the skill set. If I want to learn how to develop and maintain healthy relationships, I need to do my work and do something differently. And so now you have to rewire your mind, rewire your brain, create new neural pathways, which means create a new way of thinking, telling your brain new messages, by speaking a different languages, changing the way you approach certain things. And then what happens is when you do that, the connection goes to your brain and the brain delivers it to your body, because there's the brain and body connection. And then you will respond differently, which is the whole purpose of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, or rational emotive behavioral therapy, which is one of my favorite. I'm even certified in it, even though we learn all of the things. But I love that because it focuses on helping you to change your thought process, your mindset. It, and REBT also teaches you how to challenge those unhelpful thoughts that you have, those that stinking thinking, that unhelpful thought process, that negative core belief that you have, and why you do what you do, and why you say what you say. And once you get to the root, you do the healing and you'll see some better fruit produce. And then you find that you're able to have healthier communication styles. You're able to remain calm. You're able to use your wise mind. You're able to keep a balance and regulate your own emotions. You're able to put yourself in check. Again, we are human, but the thing is, you catch yourself and go, okay, wait a minute, Cheryl. You taking it personal right now. When they're talking to you, they're just addressing this. Don't make it your stuff and trauma. So if you need to use self-talk, by all means, use the self-talk. Very helpful. That's what I do all the time. Like, okay, hold up. This is part of processing. Okay, wait a minute, Cheryl. Now, we're just talking about this. Don't lose perspective. This is the matter. This is the fact. This is what we're discussing. This is the topic. Do not internalize it, because if you do, you're going to feel triggered and activated all day. And then you're going to have ruminating thoughts that's going to keep you feeling that same sucky way. And you don't want to do that, because you know you have the tendency to go there because you are sensitive. You have your own trauma. And it can be easy for me to impersonalize certain things. So being that I have the self-awareness and know that about myself because of my own trauma, this is how I take myself off the ledge. That's all I'm saying. So I hope this was helpful to somebody. I'm going back. This was another lunch lesson. I'm on my lunch break. I'm going back in, do some more sessions. But I just felt like this is such a good thing to talk about, because again, it comes up all the time, which lets me know that people really battle with this a lot. A lot of people do. So it's okay to be repetitive. And sometimes I have to talk about this again, because it is new people that might join my channel. I hope you become a subscriber and like this and share your comments. You never know, right? I can't tell myself, well, I talk about this. Well, no, you need to talk about it often, because there's somebody who never heard it for the first time. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. I may preach a sermon more than once, and it may come out a different way each time. But guess what? It needs to be heard, because there are going to be new listeners. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Let me see if there's any comments before I move on. Uh, Okay, all right, relax, stop, hi. Okay, all right, all right. Thank you for the number one from, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Korosh, I think. Forgive me if I said it wrong. Thank you so much for tuning. Thank you so much for joining and tuning in really quick. Watch the replay if you missed the beginning. And again, I have a whole workshop coming up. Probably going to be in January, because things are just moving real fast, about communication when it comes to healthy relationship and developing and maintaining healthy relationships, because we need to do so. We need some help out here. And some of us can really be honest and say, I have not been the best communicator. What is the block? What is the barrier? Okay, then when you come to the realization of what that is, then you start working on, okay, this is what I need to do and put into place. So the workshop is going to have a lot of interventions and role plays that you can do. And I would like to have some people come on live where we can do it's going to be like a hot seat, where we can do a behavior rehearsal, where you can practice. First, you can start with the unhealthy way to respond or communicate, and then we can give an example of a healthy way to communicate. And so you will be helping me with the workshop. Okay, so keep following, keep commenting as well, so you can get new notifications. Hit the bell, please, and so you can stay up to date with when I publish or post information about that whole workshop that's coming up. Okay, thank you so much. Love you, love you, love you. All right, talk to you soon. Bye. Hey, Jessica. I see a couple of people coming on here. Somebody says because I'm at school. Ha. And and this course is actually my Get Your Life Back Academy. but I'm still uploading because I move my stuff from one platform to the next. But when I do the whole workshop on YouTube, then it's no longer going to be free. It's going to be free on YouTube, but then it's going to be a paid course in the Get Your Life Back Academy. Okay, so that's why I want to kind of put that out there so you know that you're getting some really, it's going to be some really good stuff. And we're personalizing, right? You know, it's a lot of information. You can learn this stuff for yourself, but it's nothing like having a coach or somebody can kind of take you by the hand and get that practice in, like real life, real time work, doing your work actually. And that, so that's the difference between having a lot of theory and information and writing it down than instead of practicing it. So you get both theory and practice. That sounds like school, right? Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye bye.